So today I wanted to talk about the concept of comparison. Comparison. Just hearing the word comparison, doesn't just that break your heart? You know, comparison is the thief of all joy. And comparison, comparing yourself to other people, is almost like envy, right? And envy is a sin, and God does not want us to be envy of others. And part of the reason why I started my ministry on social media, Chief Encouragement Officer, is because I feel that people get on social media, and one of the worst things they could fall into is comparing themselves to other people. And that's not what we were put on this earth to do. No, God created us to be ourselves, right? He created you to be uniquely you, and for your purpose to touch the lives of other people, even if it's just one person in your life, that one person who breathes easier because of you. You know, that is to have succeeded, is the famous quote, right? And so I wanted to take us to the book of Matthew, chapter 20. And in this parable, Jesus talks about the parable of the workers in the vineyard. He said, "For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire laborers for his vineyard. Now, when he had agreed with the laborers for 1 denarius a day," a denarius is enough money to just buy food for 1 day for their family, right? So they're really living check to check, as we would say in today's day, right? Day to day. So the laborers agreed to work for the day for 1 denarius. He sent them into the vineyard, and then he went out 3 hours later and saw others standing, waiting for work. So he hired them to go into the vineyard. And then again, he went out at the 6th, and then again at the 9th hour, 9 hours later, out of a 10-hour work shift, right? On the last hour, he went out and he found a laborer, and he said, "Hey, what are you doing standing around all day?" And these laborers said, "Well, no one's hired us yet." And he said, "Okay, well, you go into my vineyard and do whatever you need to do, work, and whatever is right, you will receive." So when the evening came and the owner of the vineyard, he said to the steward, and he said, "Hey, call all the laborers in and give them their wages for the day, beginning with the last person that just came on board and go all the way down to the first." And when those who came in were hired at the 11th hour, like the last hour, they received 1 denarius. But when the first came, they thought that they were going to receive more. And when they received 1 denarius, they started complaining. How come this guy came in on the last hour, he got paid a denarius, but I've been working all day, you paid me a denarius? And the landowner said, "Did you and I not agree?" He said, "Friend." And actually, friend is a great way to start a potentially controversial conversation. Okay, so he said, "Friend, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for a denarius? Take what is yours and go your way. I wish you to give to this last man the same as to you. Is it not lawful for me to do whatever I wish with my own things? Or is your eye evil because I'm so good? So the last will be first and the first will be last. For many are called, but few are chosen." So what does this mean? What is this a story about? It's a story you'd think about the person that was didn't get his fair wages, but it's a story of God's grace. It is a story of having grace and mercy for those. And what I love about this is that it depicts that anyone can get into the kingdom of heaven. You don't have to be the guy that's been reading the Bible all his life and been studying the Bible and been out doing good works. You could be someone that is ready to just receive Christ's love and say, "You know what? I'm sick of trying to do it on my own. I'm sick of trying to do it on my own will. I am willing and ready to feel the strength and to follow Lord's plan for my life so I can live a happy, peaceful, and successful life." So whether it's now or whether it's before, whether you're first, whether you're last, you can have your denarius too, right? You can have it, and you can have it in full. there is grace. So it's a story about grace, but it's also a story about comparison. And let me talk to you if you're in business, especially if you're in sales. I mean, comparison is the thief of all joy. You know, why is it that this person's winning and they just got started and I've been out here, you know, slaying and working away and making my calls and planting seeds and trying to make things happen? Or why is it that this person's moving up so fast and they've gotten so many promotions and I haven't gotten promoted yet? You know, I want to encourage you and tell you not to get jealous or upset or mad when your friend is winning, because, or when your neighbor is winning, because it means that God is in the neighborhood. It means that it's just a matter of time before it's your turn. It's just a matter of time before it's your time to shine. And you know what? If you continue to move forward and to plant those seeds and continue to just mind your own business, all right? I wouldn't say mind your own business, okay? When you mind your own business, you're able to focus on what God put you here on this earth to do, and stop looking at all the other people as you're scrolling through social media. And I know we're in the pandemic, we need to connect with each other somehow. So we're on Facebook all day long, but stop scrolling through and being envious and comparing ourselves. Oh, so-and-so's doing this. So-and-so's getting this. So-and-so got a new car. So-and-so's, you know, buying a new house. So-and-so's doing this. Why not me? No, be happy and joyful for them. Because when you can start to applaud others for being successful, you start to attract it. That means you're ready to receive it because you have that true joy in your heart for others. And so when it's your turn, you don't want people to be hating on you, do you? No, you want people to be joyful and cheering you on along as well. So clap and cheer for your brothers, sisters, your neighbors that are winning, because that'll put you in the right spirit of mind that your turn is next. And now I do want to talk to you about minding your own business and staying focused on the purpose that God put you here to do. What is it? What is it that you know? You've been feeling the calling. You know what God put you here on this earth to do. And if you don't know, ask God, ask him. What is it? Read the Bible, right? As I read the pages, you know how sometimes when you read a book, like your mind starts to drift off and wonder, and you're like, oh, how did I start to think about this? You know, but when you read, that sometimes it's God talking to you and giving you direction and nudging you in certain directions of what you feel you are called to do. Maybe you're called to be a mom right now, to love on your child, to be focused on them. And you're like, oh, all these other people are doing these other things. And I feel like I'm kind of here in, you know, but that is a great purpose to have right now. You know, maybe you're called to shepherd somebody and to mentor someone who's needing that guidance. And you know what? You can speak life and you can influence people in such a huge way that you might not even be aware of that you're possible or that you're capable of it. You know, when we're around people, the people that we're around most, that is our opportunity to speak life into that person, is an opportunity to positively influence someone else. You know, and I was even sharing with Rich earlier that I had a conversation with my mom the other day because she wanted to go down a complaining path of comparison or something like that. And I just reminded Mom on the way, I listened to her, you know, I listened. And then on my way out, I just said, you know, Mama, you know, and I said an encouraging word to her on the way out. And I said, as we grow older, we want to be more patient and loving and kind to people instead of being impatient. You know, God wants us to be more patient. And as a result, my mom, who would probably not want to listen to what I had to say, because I'm around them, was able to shift her thinking in a more calm, less anxiety, right? And more loving and patient way. So we all have an opportunity to influence people. Write down 3 names of people that we spend the most time with. And what are our words around those 3 people? Are we typically a cheerleader? Are we encouraging? Or are we typically critical and correcting? Usually, and I'll have to just start with myself. I mean, I'm usually critical and correcting around the 3 people that I'm closest to. And I have to consciously make sure that I am saying loving, encouraging words to my husband instead of critical and complaining words to my husband. You know, it is just a natural thing that we do when we're around people that we're comfortable with, right? Because we could just say whatever that comes out of our mouth. So we need to make sure that the people that we're loving and supportive, and let me talk to the leaders out there, you guys that are right here on this call, is that God called you to be a leader. And he called you to this platform to be a leader and to speak life in others. So have a intentional plan with the people that you lead. I'm reading this great book. It's like 1,001 Ways to Reward Your Employees. And it talks about how these great companies, there's all these different examples of what these great leaders at different companies do. And they walk around, this one leader at Amway walks around with 5 coins in his pocket and sticks it on the left-hand side. And his goal is to move each coin to the right pocket by the end of the day, making sure that he went and visited at least 5 different people at their desks and spoke life into them and encouraged them and asked them how their family's doing and all that kind of stuff. So have an intentional plan to speak life and encouragement to the people around you. And guess what? When you start making it not about what everybody else is doing and you are focused on your purpose that is put in front of you and the work that you need to be doing, all of a sudden you look up and there you are at the top. You have won. You're all of a sudden the one getting the glory and the praise because you stayed focused on what you were put here to do instead of worrying about what others are doing out there in their lives. So love you guys. I'm proud of all of you. And until next time.